Welcome to another episode of Kingsville TV, and today I got a special guest in the building, the legendary Bulawayo filmmaker, Mr. RASQUESITY. What's up, RASQUESITY?
I'm good, man. How's it?
I'm alright, man. What's up with you during this corona, man?
I look down, but for us, work never stops. We're always grinding.
Yeah, man. So, can you please tell us a bit about yourself? Who's RASQUESITY?
Okay, RASQUESITY, he's a father, a twin brother. I come from a family of three. I've got an elder brother, Kapelani, then my twin brother, Sabelo. And my full name is RASQUESITY Inisela Giaitz. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always thought like RASQUESITY, that's like that's like your real name.
Yeah, it's my real name.
Okay. Yeah. And how did you get into like film production?
I've always loved art from primary school. So I started doing when I started doing film, I started doing the slideshows. I started with the narrow vision, if you still remember narrow vision. That was back in 2003. So guys would come with their pictures, I would do a slideshow, put the background music. From then on, we started doing short films using the Motorola V360s and these small cameras called Coolpix. Yeah, from then on, we graduated to Handycams. We started experimenting with the softwares like Camtasia, Sony Vegas, Corel Video Studio. And for me, I knew that my life path was art. So I focused mostly on art subjects up to A level. And even when I finished my A level, I knew I wanted to go to film school. But anyway, we come from the high density suburbs. Not all of us can afford film school. But for me, I was lucky enough because the time when I finished my A level, I had a gap year. I went to SA. When I was in SA, then MSU introduced a department in film and theatre arts, and then I had to come back home and enrolled with MSU.
So you actually went to school to pursue your dream in filmmaking.
Yeah.
And how is it like compared to someone who has not gone to school for that and you who has gone to school? What are the differences in terms of maybe a person who does guerrilla warfare filming and a person who has actually gone to school for filming?
For me, I don't think there's a difference. When it comes to arts degrees, mostly it's maybe 70% talent. Then the 30% you only go there just to learn the rules, because in film there are rules, you understand? So for me, mostly, that's why I always tell people that anyone can do music videos, you understand? Because music videos, to me, I think you can always break the rules, you understand? But when it comes to film and TV, you have to follow the rules. So for you to go to study film at varsity, it's mostly the theoretical part, you understand? But for me, I believe film is a talent, it's a gift from God.
You're hearing from the legendary filmmaker himself, Mr. RASQUESITY, is saying filmmaking is a talent. You don't necessarily need to go to school to get that education. But man, if you're saying that you don't need to go to school for this, so if someone says, you know what, I want to be like RASQUESITY, I want to be a filmmaker as well on a major scale, what pathways can you advise him to take? Okay,
I use my country, Zimbabwe, you understand? For us, most of the guys can't afford film school, it's the truth, you understand? So I always tell these young guys that there's always a free university. Just get data, YouTube is a free university. You understand? Okay. I can even give an example of SimDoc, you know SimDoc?
The one who just shot in the video right now?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not like he started film, but he's the best music video director in Zim.
Yeah, shout out to SimDoc, man. That's a dope video.
Yeah.
Ginde out right now. Go check it out.
Even for me, I've talked to him before. Even if I get a huge budget for a film, I'd rather direct and hire him to do my cinematography. He's the best. That's what I'm talking about, talent. It's not always about for you to go to school. If you're talented, you're talented. You understand? For us to get the degrees, I think it's for security reasons. You understand?
But don't you think like maybe you need a mentor to like guide you, like, you know what, this is how you color grade, this is how you cut, copy and paste, etc. I don't really know the jargon you guys use, but yes, maybe even the softwares you need to do a particular, you know, video editing. Don't you think maybe these young guys need mentors like you to say, you know what, RASQUESITY, can you teach me how to do this?
Yeah. A mentor is very important, but at the end of the day, I can teach you how to open Premiere, I can show you the tools, but at the end of the day, it goes down to talent. I can show you everything, you understand? By the end of the day, you cannot be RASQUESITY. There's always one RASQUESITY. There's always one SimDoc, there's always one Plex. Okay. You can't copy, you understand?
Yes.
If you're talented, if I show you the tools, if you're talented, it don't take time, you just blow up, you understand? But if you're not talented, you always try to do what RASQUESITY taught me, you understand? You're not creative. You're just one of those guys who know how to open Premiere, or those guys who know how to press record on a camera, but they're not even creative.
Then there's another issue which is trending at the moment.
Okay.
People are saying that, you know, for you as a filmmaker, do you feel you need to get out of Bulawayo to make it?
Yeah, I've had that issue before. You understand? So the problem now with Bulawayo, I think we don't have much resources in terms of film or even support. You understand? Look at Harare. That's why most of the guys, they're always saying Zimbabwe is Harare. You understand? People in Harare support each other. You understand? There's a lot of talent here in blues. You understand? Even you find that there are people with proper equipment in Bulawayo. You understand? People that you don't even know. They don't want to maybe let us hire the equipment. You understand? But look at Harare. You understand? They have MMX, the rental company. Even individuals who own proper equipment, they support each other to build the industry. Here in Bulawayo, for me, even if you saw my status today, I'm looking for a 4K drone. Maybe someone who has a 4K drone is not going to respond. It's I've got a 4K drone. Now I have to struggle to find a 4K drone. You understand? You see? So then I say, I know in Bulawayo there's no quality. So at the end of the day, we use the little that we have and try to achieve the quality that the artists want.
So you're saying basically there's no unity of purpose in Bulawayo at the moment?
In Bulawayo we are not united, it's the truth. Just imagine if we were united in Bulawayo. I can always give an example of Calvin, you understand? Just imagine if Calvin was a Harare guy.
Yes, he just made a track right now talking about the same issues.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what can be the remedy to solve such type of issues of lack of support, lack of unity, and lack of maybe
unit of purpose, collaboration. Collaboration. Problem with us, always want to take the credit. No, I'm the one who did it. You understand? Just imagine if you collaborate in Bulawayo. Even most of the guys that have done music videos for, you understand? I won't mention names, but 3/4 of the music videos that I've done, you understand, they're close to free. You understand? Because I'll be trying to say, okay, let me contribute the little that I have to push Bulawayo. By the end of the day, you find most of these Bulawayo music videos, maybe the one with most views, maybe it's around maybe 15 or 20,000. Most is hundreds of views, thousands of views. We don't even support each other. You understand? So I think if we collaborate and unite, maybe we will have an industry.
You talked about the issue of shooting free videos in Bulawayo. Then comes my question is, how do you sustain a livelihood since you are busy shooting per se free videos for artists, how then does one sustain, you know, feed your family through the art which you're doing? How are you doing it?
I'll speak for myself. I don't get much of my money from music videos. You understand? I do a lot of corporate stuff. You understand? I do documentaries, I do films. Because at the end of the day, for me, maybe to get money that can sustain me, maybe for 2 months or 3 months, then I have to shoot maybe 5 to 10 music videos. In mind you, music videos, there's a lot of work, you know, rappers, you understand? They always expect $2,000 music video, maybe with a $200 budget, you understand? You know, so most of these guys, some of them when they come to me, it's more like they're doing me a favor. But I've shot music videos for, I think, for more than 5 years without equipment. You understand? Without equipment. And I bought my, even if you see my editing suite, my cameras, what, I bought it with other jobs, not music videos. You understand? So I wouldn't say there's no, artists have no money, bruh.
Dang.
Because they are self-funded.
Okay.
There are no labels, you understand? And most of these guys who come and shoot music video with me, sometimes I would have spoken with them maybe 3 months back, 2 months back, they'll be saving. So if you see me working with an artist, at the end of the day, I'm also playing my part. You understand? Everything is based on negotiation. At the end of the day, it's not just about the money, it's about pushing the art. For me, I believe in Blawa. I believe in Blawa. So at the end of the day, there are no $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 budgets here in Blawa, because most of these artists, they're self-funded.
And if I recall, you were at MSU, and while you were at MSU, you were shooting videos at that site for, I think it was, what were the guys? Yes, Timbo.
Yes.
So I just want to know, what's the difference between those guys, that side you've worked with, and the guys you've also worked with this side? What is the difference between the work ethic, and is it the same in terms of were those guys paying you as well, or it was all on a freelance trying to boost up the brand? Okay,
with the Harare guys, okay, I'll talk of the guys that have worked it in Harare. So for them, they treat their art as business. So at the end of the day, even if they pay maybe, alright, let's say maybe half of the budget of the money that I want, it becomes a win-win situation, because those guys, they'll push your brand because they treat their art as business. You understand? So at the end of the day, even if they pay you half the budget, it's a win-win situation, because at the end of the day, you also gain mileage on your side. You see? Because for me, when I started doing music videos, people knew me from the Harare guys, not from the Bulawayo guys. You understand? Because most of these Bulawayo guys, even if you ask them, okay, why are you shooting the music video? They don't have straight answers. You see? Because for you to come to me and say, I want to do a music video, what's your strategy after we shoot the music video? No, put it on YouTube and see, maybe you'll get the views. Then if you get the views, then what? They don't even have maybe contacts, maybe to put it, ZBC, at least ZBC. No, I'll put it on YouTube, I'll see, bruh, you're always drinking maybe $10 but 69. Take that $10 and sponsor ads on Facebook. You understand? Or even go to Montrose and submit your music video. Or try something or submit it on channel. I can't submit a music video for you on channel or MTV, not all. You understand? Do it yourself. But if you're doing it maybe just to get views on YouTube.
Yeah, you're hearing it from the legendary RASQUESITY. Treat your music as a business. Be self-driven. Self-promotion is the best promotion. So artists, I think we're giving you free game So invest in your talent, because no one else is going to invest in your talent.
Yeah.
Learn to pay for services so that everyone eats. So yeah, man. You talked about being in SA. Can you please maybe just give us a little bit experience on how the SA market is different from the Zim market? Or maybe like the difference between SA and Zim in terms of the film industry.
Okay, we can't compare South African industry with the Zimbabwean industry, because that side, their industry structures, they have resources. For me, when I went to SA, I was connected to proper sets by a guy called Denford Zingir. He's a Zimbabwean guy who started it after. He's a practicing director of photography that side. So he's the one who the time when I was in SA, it was the time when Mnet was turning 30 years. So we're doing these documentaries and promos for Mnet. So it was the first time for me to be introduced to a proper set. I remember the other time when I got into set, they put me on the lighting department. So then the other guy, he's called Spoo, then he said, okay Ras, pass me the system. Do you understand? I knew that the stand was for lights, understand? But I never knew it was a system. But I stood there and everyone said, was looking at me like, the guy's like, Ras, pass me the system. And mind you, because I deferred from my studies to go and work in SA. So, and most of the guys on set didn't know that I was studying film.
Oh, right.
You understand? I was in my second year. And that was an advantage, because if they knew that, like, but they're studying film, we don't even know what assistant is.
Damn.
You understand? Because for us, like, we're calling a stand, a lighting stand. You understand? But for me, I think SA, it's far, bro. It's far.
What can we do for us to also improve our film industry to the levels of SA market?
Firstly, the government has to recognize art as business. Because for us in Zim, art is for entertainment purposes. You understand? Even if you look at the budget of the country, I don't think they care about the art industry. You see? If the government can put in resources, even the private sector, if you start treating film as a business, then the private sector gets in. Look at SA Productions. I can give an example of Gomorrah. Assurance is sponsoring it. Just imagine if these big companies like Econit are sponsoring telenovelas, understand? Because even for artists, it's not like in SA sometimes you see music videos for hip-hop artists, there'll be a Dragon energy drink. Dragon invest some money for that music video. So even for artists now, before you come to us, first you go to these companies and show them maybe your proposal and say, I want to shoot a music video like this and this and this and this. So if you invest in my music video, I'll promote your brand like A, B and C. Even for you, I've done even music videos with your merchandise. You see? So for you, if you put your Kingsview clothing, for you it's mileage. You understand? So at the end of the day, companies, brands have to invest in these artists. In that way, we're going to create products that maybe meet the regional market. Harare is already doing it. You see? So if Harare is doing it, then Blawayo, we can do it. So, like from your previous question, I don't think for Blawayo artists to make it, they have to move to Harare. No, you can make it in Blawayo. If you play your cards, you can make it in Blawayo. Me, I'm not moving to Harare. I'll stay. I'm content with Blawayo. Yeah.
That's the spirit we need. Not let the city suffer from brain drain.
Yeah.
So you heard it, man. RASQUESITY ain't going anywhere. When we're gonna hold you to that. So next time when you're trying to escape us, we're gonna pull you back.
Now I'll just
And we'll
go. I'll
remind
just
you.
go visit.
And from the time you started doing film production back in the day when you were studying at school to the current state right now, do you feel that there is any improvement or growth in the Zim film industry?
There is. Talking of films, obvious, we have Cook-Off. It has opened doors for everyone. Even in terms of music videos, bruh, the guys have changed the game. You see, even if you switch on Trace Africa, your China Oz, you always see the Zim products. I think in the past 5 years, the industry has improved. The industry has improved, but obviously at the end of the day, we know we are pushing artists, but the guys who are making the products, I don't think they're benefiting anything. It's the truth. I can speak for everyone, you know. I can speak for everyone, because at the end of the day, if you go to SA, I think the cheapest music videos are around 80k. You understand? But for us, at the end of the day, we are doing products that promote the artists. But for us, that's why at the end of the day, we don't even mention how much these guys pay us. But some of them have the guts to go out and say, I paid Ras this much. You understand? For publicity stunts, you know. It's okay, alright, for my video I paid this much. But for me, I know the truth. How much you paid, and how much you negotiated, and how much you begged. You understand? But at the end of the day, it's not always about the money. For us, is to push art, promote the artists, you know.
I read one of your articles, I think it was Africa Magic, and you guys were talking about there should be more like film schools, you know, just to teach people the basics of how to, you know, make films. So you were telling these guys like, yo, we need you to, you know, come back more and give us more information so that maybe we can catch up to the standards of everyone else in the film industry. Can you maybe just elaborate on that topic?
Okay, look at Blawa. I think there's like an affiliate from our department from MSU, because it's CCMA. It's here in Blawa, you understand? I think they understood the idea, but at the end of the day, it comes back to resources. Even if we open colleges or these summer schools to teach guys about film, regional standards or international standards, by the end of the day, we don't have enough resources or funding to buy proper equipment. You understand? Because now, even if you check, even in terms of cameras, you understand? There are the rates, you have your ARIs, your Panavisions. You understand? That's the international standard. You know, even if you get to the Netflix website and look at the recommended cameras, you see, even for me, if I speak of MSU, we don't even have like equipment that matches even the basics for us to shoot a proper TV series or anything. But you have like minimum equipment just to know how to operate a camera, even editing suites. We don't even have that, like the standard, you know. But at the end of the day, it goes back to funding, goes back to resources. By the end of the day, I'm always saying there's YouTube. YouTube is a free university. If you want to learn cinematography, go to YouTube, the tutorial videos. You understand?
But with this economic situation, most of these guys are suffering from bundles.
Go to Zo Sports. If you want something in life, you sacrifice, but just cancel one weekend to buy your Vice 69 or your Vice Rover. Take that $10, invest on your bundles.
True.
You know, because $10 can give you more than 15 gig of data.
And any new projects or any films you're working on at the present moment? Can you maybe just give the people out there, you know, the projects you're working on?
I won't say much because we signed these non-disclosure agreements.
Ah,
But at the end of the day, currently I've been doing a sitcom, 13-part series. But I was DOP in the project, working with Kutsai Chikomo from Multimedia Box. Yeah, recently we've premiered our feature film, Gold Diggers on Zambezi Magic.
Oh, nice! Congratulations.
Yeah, for my company, we have 2 feature film scripts that we're supposed to shoot, but because of COVID-19, we postponed the shoot. But when Corona ends, then we start production for our 2 feature films. Obvious. On the other side, the things that make me survive, obvious, that these more corporate gigs, what, yeah, they're the ones that let us drink every day.
And there's a young man watching this right now,
Yeah.
and he's probably saying, you know what, I want to come and work with RASQUESITY. Like, are you guys taking under your wing any young, film enthusiasts who want to come and say, I want to be a cameraman, I want to hold the boom mic, or just want to be part of your production team? Are you guys hiring at the moment, or what's the story?
At the moment they're not hiring because I think I have 2 or 3 interns. But if you're serious, if you inbox me, you want to come on set, I can always invite you on set. If I go with you maybe 2 or 3 times on set, if you are serious and you think you've got the talent, always hit me up. You understand? Knowledge is not for sale.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You're hearing it from the man himself, RASQUESITY. So, where can they find you on your socials? If maybe they are rappers, singers, or musicians, or someone who just wants to make a film, a documentary, etc. Where can they find the legendary RASQUESITY?
Okay, obviously use the simplest way. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's RASQUESITY. If you want to check my productions, go on YouTube, type Gates Films. Yeah. Other details will be written under the screen.
Thank you, much appreciated, man, for blessing us with your presence on Kingsville TV.
Okay.
Yeah, man, we out.